Yes, finally, this is what I'm talking about. Bunkerpunks is a first-person shooter roguelike with base building, and it works. It freaking nailed the mechanics of an FPS while adding in just enough roguelike to keep it interesting. Mashing genres is always dangerous, because if one of them is off, then everything else feels wrong. Now let me tell you about Bunkerpunks and see if it's for you. In Bunkerpunks, the goal is to raid other strongholds and tear down the corporate government. The bulk of the game is spent inside these strongholds. It's split up into multiple floors, and at the start they have 3 and it expands from there. The floors are randomized with predefined rooms. This way it's a little unexpected each time without getting too random. The rooms are packed with enemies though. Every room is dangerous. The FPS mechanics are super fast and it reminds me of Doom. Also, not having to reload helps with that feeling as well. You'll be peeking corners to see where the enemies are and trying to quickly dodge their shots. There is a lot of backing up, and keeping line of sight with only one enemy makes things a lot easier. When you enter a room this full of enemies, it's very difficult to dodge everything. You do not want to stand still. Pulling them into the doorway is a pretty good tactic. However, some of the enemies can get a little stuck on a corner, which feels like cheating when you can take pop shots without them attacking you. It also feels bad when you can't see an enemy and they shoot you right as you enter a room without you having a chance. This is especially tricky in the final room, which contains a boss. If the boss is in a bad spot, you're kind of screwed and have to peek super fast and try and get a shot off. In that close to quarters with the boss though, it's almost impossible. The punks themselves are better at certain weapons and have a secondary skill. It provides some variety when playing, and you'll be almost forced to play with certain weapons. It's not a bad thing, but the boost can be really significant when combined with gear and upgrades. Now, I don't really understand the secondary skills at all. Molly Pop's skill makes no sense to me, and Cleopatra Rex's is a stun that doesn't work on bosses. I hope they can clear up what the skills do and balance them to be a bit more useful. The stun is just really too short to matter. The specials take chi to use, which you can build up as you kill, but you can acquire more with combos. The combo system is pretty cool and can be upgraded so it restores health. One interesting thing about the strongholds is that they are filled with crates and exploding barrels. These can be used to destroy a bunch of enemies at once and sometimes contain items. It's really fun to blow up a barrel and take an enemy or two with it. I just wish the enemy bullets would destroy the crates as well. Perhaps that would make the game too hard, but it would lead to some pretty fun and unexpected gameplay, especially if the enemies could kill each other. The strongholds are also where you'll find armor, weapons, money, and tech. The weapons and armor you can equip immediately. Money is spent between rounds, and tech is used to unlock new punks and items for your next run. The drops from enemies expire after a short amount of time, and this includes bullets. You can definitely run out of bullets if you're not careful. So Bunkerpunks want you to run into rooms to make sure to collect everything, which puts you in a lot of danger. There's no way you're sniping everything from afar. Between not being able to collect ammo and that damage drop-off, you need to get in close. Anyway, from the start, you have only one inventory slot and one gun slot, so you have to be very choosy in what you want to bring back to base. Good news is that you can upgrade these slots from your bunker later. Speaking of the bunker, it's incredibly important for being able to complete the later levels. Of course, it's a roguelike, so you'll be dying a lot. The bunker lets you upgrade your punks into being better at weapons, health, armor, and just about everything. You have to build rooms like a gym, a shooting range, and an infirmary, and then you can select what you want to fill the rooms with. For example, you can build a bullseye in the shooting range, which increases damage for pistols and handguns by 25%. They all seem to have 5 upgrade levels, and it gets progressively more expensive as you go. Without these upgrades though, you're not getting very far. You can also visit the shop here for new gear and the doctor. Yeah, you have to spend valuable cash on healing, which makes even the smallest hit in the levels depressing. The shop is fine, but the text description isn't as helpful as showing the upgrade percents, which you can see during a level. I don't get it. Bunkerpunks has a great item comparison during the levels, but while shopping, just a small text description? You'll end up memorizing what items are your favorites because they all seem to drop in the level anyway. Selling items seems to be more important than actually buying, and maybe that's the point. Either way, I hope they start showing the percentages in the shop screen. The final part of Bunkerpunks is where you can purchase unlocks for future runs with your tech. This includes new characters, extra beds, weapons, armor, and new rooms. Pretty much everything that would help you get a little bit further on your next run. For example, the bunk beds upgrade lets you start with 2 punks instead of 1, essentially giving you another chance. The game is not stingy with tech drops, so I've been able to unlock a few things with each run. I like that, and the fact that you can choose between a couple items is great as well. I can prioritize new punks if I want, or that new gun that looks cool. This is a solid progression system that will keep me playing for many runs. It's definitely working because I'm still struggling with the later levels, but have progressed much further each run. Side note, make sure to increase the mouse sensitivity as it's set way too low. Firing quick is imperative, and I can't understand why it's set so low initially. Also, start on a lower difficulty setting than you would expect because this game is hard. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. Overall, Bunkerpunks is a great indie game. The shooting feels great and is incredibly quick. The first level doesn't instantly become trivial either, which can happen to a lot of roguelikes. The way Bunkerpunks combines all of the elements makes for a complete experience, more so than any of these ingredients alone. While I do wish the enemies were a little bit smarter and they could interact with each other, it's definitely not a deal breaker. Also, the game could use a bit more weapon variety to start, even though I know the point is to unlock as you play. If you like first-person shooters at all though, this game is solid and I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching.